morning, everybody. So today's a beautiful morning. I woke up early. The weather is fantastic here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I am going to show you how I'm going to pot up these plants into these beautiful bonsai pots. I still have my little Juniper. Love her golden color. And then we have our bishop's cap, which is not quite a bonsai, but it's just going to add some cool structure to my design. And our hen and chick succulents, just for more texture. All right, so here we go. So in total, I found 3 bonsai pots. The original one I found was this square pot, and then I came across an oval and another small rectangle. I'm sorry, this is a rectangle. And then here's my bonsai soil, and I have some potting soil I found. And of course I got my coffee, and I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I'm using my new scissors. And the first thing I'm gonna do is use this liner, because we've been lining cabinets and drawers at the new house. And we're gonna go ahead and use that little scrap for these holes. So I'm gonna take that and just lay it across to prevent all the soil from draining out and repurposing some scrap pieces that we have. So I'm gonna pull this out of this container so y'all can see everything that I'm doing. And we're gonna start with, I really like this oval one. So I'm gonna start with this one instead. I'm just gonna put my liner back in there. Excited about using these little snippers. I'm gonna pop out this little Juniper. And we're gonna see what we have. So a little trick is to turn over the pot and put your plant on top so it's easier to work with. I think I'm gonna set it into this pot though. So one of the things I'm gonna do is start scraping off some of this soil off the top of my bonsai. I brought home a few little snails, so we're gonna set those aside and go put those in the garden somewhere. And we're gonna start getting all of this topsoil off. Start exposing some of those roots and seeing how far our base of our plant is, because we want to expose as much of that trunk as possible. A lot of times you can use a fork or something to sort of rake it through, loosen that up. The idea is to expose that trunk. So you can see where the soil was. It was right about here. So you want to get to that root flare, because then that's when it really starts to kind of transform itself and to start looking like more like a tree. So you're just going to want to keep moving that soil, breaking it up, exposing some of that root flare and the roots themselves. I'm going to need 2 hands to do this, so I'm going to switch back around. But I hope that that kind of paints a picture of what I'm trying to achieve. Okay, so now that I have that cleared away, you can see how this is going to be too tall for this pot. About, I don't know, maybe a ½ inch to an inch. So we're going to start breaking up that bottom. Just kind of gently start squeezing it. Let that soil fall into the pot so you can kind of use that as your base. I'm going to take about half of those root system out. And it's going to be fine. There is a taproot, so we're going to be careful with that. Let's see, where is she? It's right in here. This nice long piece of taproot. how long that could go. Loosen up all that soil. Beautiful soil, so you don't want to really waste that. And that's all, look at that, look at all that. And it allows us to sort of move out some of that, more of that soil that we don't want to have. Okay. So we have enough of this soil in here now. All we have to do is use our bonsai soil mix as the topper, and then you'll have all this good, airy, barky, extremely beautiful dark soil. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cut all this off. All right, so we have this. And now when we set it in here, it's gonna sit up a lot nicer. So we can kind of stand it on top of that soil and give this plant a little bit more height. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come through and we're gonna cut off any of the branches that are facing down, any of these pieces, all of this that's going down. We're gonna come in here and start snipping them. And that's why these little snippers are so important, because it allows you to really get in there. So you're trying to mimic a tree, remember. This is supposed to look like a miniature tree. So think about what that would look like in real life. And, you know, you can start freeing up some of these branches here. Like this one's coming off of the actual trunk, if you were to say this was a tree. So you can go ahead and snip that off and expose more of the trunk. Start really getting it to look like a tree. Okay. And then anything that's pointing down, trim that off. And it just really starts to make it look more layered. And it also helps you to kind of see what you're doing. And this is all up to you. This is your tree. Okay, so I'm going to go into the middle now and separate these and kind of define where I want, how I want this to kind of open up, and where I want my canopy to kind of spread. Look how cool it's looking already. So there is ways of wiring all these things. You're welcome to do that. I'll probably do a video on that separately. I don't have wire with me, so we'll do that on a different trip. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I should keep this front part, and then you can kind of like pull things down and start trying to reimagine how that could look. And I don't know why I think that it would look better without it. So my bonsai, my choice. And it is a little intimidating cutting your branches, because you know, like, that's kind of a final cut. But I like the way this looks already. And I'm gonna go ahead, and you see these top pieces? I'm gonna start trimming some of those off, because I want to open that up. I like the way that would look. Like two separate pieces kind of splaying out. And these little nippers are amazing. I've never owned a pair of bonsai scissors. I've always just used what I've had in my kitchen. And that's what you can use too, if that's all you have. Or just a pair of sharp, pointy scissors works great. So now you can really see. You can even turn it upside down start looking at it from the bottom. But I think already that is looking super cool. And you go through and you make your selections of what you think would look good and start cutting those. These are very slow growing plants. Some of those cuts will come back, but that looks pretty cute to me so far. And I think it's gonna be so pretty in this pot. So let me gather up some more of this soil so we don't waste it. Gonna make a little hole with your finger, leave some soil at the bottom, and get that bonsai placed in there. Kind of see what you have and if you like it. I think that looks amazing. Okay, so I think I'm ready for my topsoil. I bought some extra plants and I could put them in there, but I'm not 100% feeling that just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and add my soil, my bonsai soil on top. And if I want, I can pop off some of these little chicks and I can place them around if I like. I just wanna see what this is gonna look like with the soil. So I don't want the roots sticking out of the top of the soil, so I'm gonna come back through and trim off some of these roots that are sticking up. I'm gonna highly recommend getting a good pair of bonsai scissors too, because this is making things so much easier. Doing this in steps helps. It clears things out so you can just really see what you're doing. Okay? Alright. You can remove some of the root, put it away. I like to tuck it in. I figure if it's gonna decay, it'll be its own nutrients and things like that. But look how cool that's starting to look. See that root flare? I really like the way that's starting to look. Okay, so this is the bonsai soil, and it is made up of expanded shale, sand pebble, aged pine bark. Those are all the things you're gonna need. So there's a lot of pine bark in that soil that I just took out, but this is the soil, and it really makes for a great top dressing. It's kind of got two different colors, and it just looks really natural, very pretty. And you can go ahead and start pouring this in. Topping all this off. You have that good soil at the bottom. It's not that hard, but it is very rewarding when you get it done. It's just a matter of taking your time with it. I'm pulling the soil a little bit away from the root flare. It's so pretty. Nice and clean. So if you have any pretty rocks or anything in the yard, you can put those. You can put little figures in here to kind of make it whimsical and fun. Come back through with your shears and just keep trimming. You're going to be wanting to like eyeball this a lot, and just that's part of the art of all this, is fine-tuning it and making it just right. Miniature gardening. So like I said, if you wanted to get the wires, you could start training this a little bit differently. You could bring this branch up, you can sway this one more down, however you want to do it. I'm gonna leave it right now as it is. I think it looks really cute. I love it. And we're gonna go from there. That's a finished product. To me, if I find anything later on in the garden, I'm gonna grab it and I'll put it in there. I think it'll be really cute. Like I said, you could take some of these little chicks if you want to set them in there. I'll just show you an example. So you're just gonna snip off that little chick right off the mama plant, and you can set her in there if you like. You don't need to do anything. And you can have like a little accent like that. Add as many as you like. I think I'll add one on each side just to balance it off. This is why it's important to find plants with lots of different cups and things, so you can kind of use them in your design. And this will be really fun. I think that's cute. 2 little pups on each side. Maybe finding like a little rock or something, or some different kind of gravel if you want, to kind of create like a little stream or something. Have some fun with it. And I also think once you set it up, you'll be looking at it a lot, and then you'll see things that you want to correct on it. And that's fine. That's the whole fun of all this, is making it your own. I love it. It's so cute. All right, guys, that wraps it up, and this is the final product. I'm really happy with it. It came out super cute, and I think you're gonna like it too.